Hey, I thought I'd make a pretty extensive guide for Orochi 4 Ultimate's Endgame, how to recruit all the characters, and get the final ultimate weapons. So, to get the ultimate weapons, you will have to unlock the final tower here. I'm not going to bother to butcher this pronunciation, but this is the final tower. What happens here is the rules are undetermined, they're random every time, and you cannot refresh them like you can here. So sometimes you can get some pretty bad luck, but I'm going to tell you how to basically circumvent the luck as much as possible. So the first thing you have to do is get every single character in the game except for one. Zeus is recruited by beating him in the Sky Father Tower floor 100 after you've gotten everybody else. Now the problem is there are a lot of rare spawns, and the rare spawns are pretty much all the deity characters. So characters like pretty much all the Norse gods, or the Greek gods, Gaia, Ryu Hayabusa, Yang Jian, Hades. Pretty much everybody in here is a rare spawn. And the problem is that they are the epitome of rare spawn. There are certain places where they can spawn more often. Apparently, some of the people on the Japanese wiki have been saying that there are certain locations where they are more likely to spawn, but it is still random. So if you want to circumvent the RNG, now I have to give a disclaimer. This is the launch patch version of the game. There's going to be a patch in January. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another in February before the game releases internationally. So by the time you guys have any relevance for this, it's very likely that some of the grinding may be reduced or relaxed. But what you can do is when you first start the game, or infinite mode, you have a chance to choose 7 of your favorite characters. So if you want to just circumvent the RNG completely, you would pick characters like Gaia, Hades, and so on and so forth. But that would require you to finish the entire new story mode, meaning you would have to clear all the way through Chapter 8 to get Hades and everybody else. But if you did that, that would remove a lot of the grind completely. So what you want to do... Now, I can't really show it because I can't actually capture anybody else or recruit anybody at this point. Is you just go to a floor that has an ideal, just overall situation. Like if it has this one, defeat 800 targets, and then officer KOs extend the time limit. Yeah, this means that you can clear it pretty quickly, and you can also reset quickly to get the respective character that you want in the event that they spawn. So to keep the video short, I'm going to cut out a bit of the loading here. I'll be right back. Okay, so what you want to do at the start is just kind of run around and see what officers are available. And if it's one that you need, then you would reset until they join. So for instance, let's say I was missing Chen Gong. Like say for instance, you didn't get the message that he joined your cause. What you do is you just select start over. And what that does is it basically resets the RNG. The officers that spawn are pretty much always the same. The predetermined spawns are always the same. I'm currently unsure if the additional spawns that come in later on are actually predetermined or not. I don't know if they actually change. But basically, if you see someone on the map that you need, there will be a yellow circle to the left of their name above their health bar. So you can use that to show that you need to recruit them. So ideally, if you don't get them right away and they're not ready to start like Chen Gong was there, what you would do is you would click start over and then go right back to where they are. Just make a beeline for them and then worry about the rest later, because what you're trying to do is just to brute force the RNG, because when you clear the Sky Father Tower once, it gives you a 20% extra chance to recruit anybody. So you'll probably get a bunch of the characters, probably like maybe 60 to 70% just through playing through it normally. But after that, you pretty much have to just cherry pick people. And the rare spawns, unfortunately, you cannot see where they are on the map or on the select screen. Like you can see all the characters here. These are the characters that are they will always spawn every time, and there will be a little shining little border around their character portrait to tell you that you don't have them. So what I did to get the final character, or the final character for me was Achilles. It had to be at least 4 hours, maybe 5 or 6 hours to get him to spawn. They really need to fix the RNG, but at least this way, I usually frequented the first 10 floors, and try to find something that was quick to clear. Like, defeat all enemies is probably one of the fastest one. Purifying anchors can be pretty fast as well, provided you have the best horse in the game, which you should at this point. Usually ones like destroy all the pots can be really problematic because it just takes a long time. The pots have like 30 times more health than they should, so you definitely don't want to do that if possible. Now, I usually don't play Muso games like this, but if you want to just completely cheat the system and get this done fast, what you want to do is use Gaia. Now, Gaia's jump charge is really broken, especially if you have Brilliance. So this is what I put on her weapon. I put Aggression, which is a pretty obvious one, Might, which increases the damage of charge attacks, Rigor, which gives you a, what's the official description of it? Adds a crit to charge attacks, but doubles damage received. If you have her maxed out, then it won't really be that much of an issue, but it does give you the risk of dying. Agility, Osmosis, Aerial, and then the rest is pretty standard stuff. She can kill pretty much anybody in the tower in 2 or 3 jump charges. It's pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and show that really quick. Let me cut out the loading again. I'll be right back. Alright. So the game plan with Gaia is pretty much just playing the game like there's only one move and just doing this. This has ridiculous damage and it procs elements pretty much all the time when you're using Brilliance. So using this, you can kind of circumvent things like where it wants you to get a large amount of KOs, but using magic or Muso attacks gives you double. You may not even need to do that with her. You would probably be switching to somebody else to take out the Chaos Origins and things like that. So let's find the Chaos Origin. I'll show how you can take them out. The game wants to show me. It wants to spawn one. Alright, it doesn't want to spawn one, but basically you can do it with these peons here. You want to do this a few times to get your combo bonus up, and then switch to somebody who has Divinity. Like, I have Divinity on his weapon, so his charge magic and unique magic will pretty much one-shot one, but as you get higher in the tower, and when you're in the endgame tower like this one, they start to have a ton of health, so you may need to get the combo bonus. As you can see, he has his ultimate weapon and his proficiency is maxed out, so it's like 153 attack. But that's definitely how you do it. So here's what the weapons look like. As you can see, you need one common drop, and then you need the top one, which is a rare drop. They will pretty much spawn from any high-ranked officers, like a high miasma level. There's a chance that you'll get one. Also, when you clear the tower, you will always get some for the respective characters you're using. So if you have 2 of them for 2 of my favorite characters like I do, when you get to the end of a map, you may want to just stick one of your characters that has it in the party, and then have the other 2 be ones that need materials. So, for instance, I would probably keep either Ling Tong or Zhou Tai, not both, and then put, like, Gaia in, who needs her weapon, or somebody else, like Sunsei or something. Now, to level up their weapon, you're actually going to be using a very rarely used element in this game. You're going to be using... where is it? Harmony. This increases your weapon compatibility improvement rate. Now, in the base game, this was pretty much pointless because it really only took like a couple runs to level a weapon up to the max. But since the max compatibility bonus on this is 99, it takes a really long time. And since elements can actually go up to 20 now, I say it took me about 3.5, maybe 4 runs of switching between Ling Tong and Zhou to max out their weapons. So what you would do is you would replace whatever something that's easily replaceable, like probably not agility or something, but maybe like Storm. That's obviously something that you can replace pretty easily. You would replace Storm with Harmony 20, max it out, and then free up that slot for something else. And that's basically it. You're just going to want to try to optimize things as much as possible. Let me go to my party here. Having one character with Divinity is always good because you'll need it for Chaos Origins. There's also going to be a lot of situations where you'll get bonus KOs or bonus score for using Muso attacks. So you can either use the Divinity or you can use someone with Destruction. So ideally you want somebody with Divinity and someone with Destruction. Or if you want to just sacrifice a slot, you can have just one character do both. But I like to split it up this way. That way I have more variety in the gameplay, and also I'm not completely dependent on one character. The AI, for when they're seeking around the map, or searching around the map, is pretty dumb, especially on the high miasma levels. They have a high chance of dying, so it's nice to have one character that can do one thing and one character that can do another thing. So in the event that happens, your progress isn't going to be impeded. One of the most important things in the tower is getting the clear bonus. When you have a timer, basically any timed event, like I said, in the patch that's coming in January, they're going to make it so the timer can be disabled. I don't know how that's going to work with bonus clears, but right now, when the timer becomes blue, which usually means you've got less than half of your time remaining, you will only go up one floor. If you clear the map while it's on blue, then you'll get an extra floor clear. So the optimal tower run of this is 6 floors, or 6 runs. So 1 to 3, 5 to 7, 7 to 9, and then 9 to 10. So you're going to go through all those as fast as you can. Sometimes it can be a blessing of the blessing of disguise if you actually don't get the time bonus on one, because you may get one that's faster. The slowest ones generally tend to be things like destroy all pots takes forever. Defeat a bunch of Chaos Origins can be really, really tough because they don't spawn that quickly. If you're not properly geared, then you can have a hard time taking them out. Also, they have a tendency to spawn on the opposite end of the map. So if you get one of those, you can pretty much kiss your chance of getting a time bonus goodbye. There are a lot of RNG factors in this. I hope that they'll relax it in the next patch, but right now it'll be pretty smooth sailing until you get the last few characters. And then you're going to have to start frequenting a lot of the levels up here. Let me see if I can find the ones where a lot of the rare characters spawn. The Hades map here. Now they can spawn anywhere, but like I said, some of the Japanese players have been saying that some rare officers have a chance to spawn, a higher chance to spawn in certain locations. It's not wanting to give me the map here. This is the Yggdrasil. This is the final map in the game. A lot of them can spawn here, but the problem is that the map is huge. When you play it in the story, you only get the bottom half there, and then the upper half opens up later on as the story progresses. But when you're doing it in infinite mode, the whole thing is open the whole time, and it's a real nightmare to traverse. So ideally, you really only want to go hunting for rare officers here. If it's something like this, where defeating the enemy officers extends the time limit, that will basically remove all the pressure from it, and you'll pretty much always be able to get the blue time bonus. Or if you're at the point where you've already cleared everything, at least you'll just have the security of being able to clear it at all. So like I said, you want to go around the map, try to find anybody who you need. Like I said, they'll have a little yellow orb to the left of their name above their health bar. Just try to kill them, and then if they don't join, then reset and make a beeline back to them. And yeah, that's it. That's basically the gist of the endgame. You're going to have a lot of growth points. Growth points and gems increase exponentially once you get to the final tower. So you can do crazy stuff like this. Let's find somebody I want to max out. I'll show you just how fast things can go. So I haven't used him yet, so I'm just going to max him out like this. It only takes about 1 million experience to max someone out to level 100. So you're looking at about 10 million to max somebody out once. With all the reincarnations or promotions. And there you have it. Now, it takes a lot longer to distribute these points, but for the purpose of the video's length, I won't do that. So, generally, you want to just pump your EXP, your growth points, into whoever you want to work on next. And then you can pretty much just tag them in at the end of a tower run and hope that you get some materials for them. I've been told that you get more materials the farther you get in. I definitely have noticed that I've gotten quite a bit more in the last few runs. I did about 4 or 5 runs today, and it took quite a bit of time. Like I said, it's going to be random every time, so you definitely want to have a well-rounded party like this. Like Gaia has Brilliance on, so you can use her to kind of circumvent a lot of the grinding. And then have at least one character with Destruction, one character with Divinity, and things will be pretty smooth sailing. I hope this helps you guys. I don't know if I'll update this guide, but I definitely will put out a addendum for it when they do the patch, because likely a lot of this is going to be relaxed. A lot of people have been complaining about how awful it is to get the final character. If you're not lucky enough to get the rare spawns right away, when they don't spawn, it can take literal hours. So you definitely want to use this method here to kind of brute force the RNG. Also, if you can stomach playing as the deities, I don't particularly like playing as them much, then you can use them at the beginning to kind of cut out a lot of the RNG towards the end. I hope this helps you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.